Hi there, friends. It's Miss Tiffany from the Butler Area Public Library, and I'm here with another video to talk about resources you can use to do story time or other play activities at home. Some of you may have gotten our at-home storytime kit, and today's video is going to use one of the tools that is in that kit. If you did not get a kit though, that is okay, because what I'm using today is very easy to find. You can find it in usually any dollar store, and chances are you might have it at home already. Today, we are going to be talking all about bubbles. Now, before we get started with playing with bubbles, I am going to suggest that if you are using bubbles with a smaller child, that the adult always be the one in control of the bubble container. As you can see, these pieces are pretty small, and also bubbles can spill and make a big mess. Now, if you would like to do bubble play allowing the child to hold the bubbles, I would definitely recommend getting a child-safe and spill-proof bubble container. Bubbles are especially great for smaller children, but let's be honest, everybody loves bubbles no matter how old they are. I know I certainly do. And there are tons of ways to use bubbles in a storytime setting or just in play in general. Because the sight of bubbles typically makes little ones want to run around and try to pop them, it's really great to use bubbles in conjunction with music. So you can play any song and just blow bubbles, having a little bubble dance party, or you can pair the bubbles with a song specifically about the bubbles. A great way to do this is to adapt the song if you're happy and you know it. And basically, you're just going to sing there are bubbles in the air, and then you blow bubbles. So it goes like this. There are bubbles in the air, in the air. There are bubbles in the air, in the air. There are bubbles in the air. There are bubbles everywhere. There are bubbles in the air, in the air. And you can follow that up with there are bubbles way up high, there are bubbles way down low. You can make up as many verses to the song as you like. Bubbles are also a great way to get children to transition between activities, which can sometimes be a little bit hard. So let's say you just had a crazy dance party as part of your story time, and now it's time to settle down a little bit so that you can hear a story. One of the things that you can do to help the child transition from all of the motion in the song to being sitting on the floor or in a chair to listen to the story is to tell them that you're going to blow bubbles, and by the time all the bubbles are gone, they need to be sitting down, ready to listen to the story. Bubbles can also be used as a form of encouragement or a reward for a child working on a task, especially if it is a task that is a little bit difficult for them. So if you are working on, let's say, letter sounds, every time the child gets the letter sound right, you blow bubbles as their reward. Now, if you are using bubbles that are child safe in terms of small parts and also spill proof, it does open up some additional skills that you can work on using the bubbles. One of the skills that you can work on is doing some breath work, getting a child to be able to expel as much of their breath and increase their abdominal muscles. And that is by letting them take long, extended breaths to blow out the bubbles. When the bubbles are child safe and spill proof, you can also use it to work on motor skills, such as opening and closing the bubble lid. And you can use it as a way of teaching a child how to take turns. First, I use the bubbles, and then you use the bubbles. Now, I said before, one of the fun things about bubbles is they usually get the kids up and moving because they want to try to catch the bubbles and pop them. So use that to your advantage. Use it as a way to work on listening skills and following directions. Tell the child you want them to clap the bubbles or you want them to poke the bubbles. You can also have the child count the bubbles as they catch them or pop them. Some of you may be a little hesitant to use bubbles because they can be a little bit sticky and messy sometimes. When the weather's great, take them outside and use them. That solves some of the problem. And again, you could consider looking into spill-proof bubble containers to save yourself a little bit of the mess. I hope you found this video helpful as you explore the use of bubbles when you play with the children in your family. Be creative. You never know what's going to pop up.